When I want to get something, I go on Amazon and I search for it. I find it. It comes to my house, easy peasy. But when it comes towards a business purchase, it's a little bit more complex. But what if there's a way you could take your best performing rep and remodel the whole program to have your poorest performing rep or your newest rep behave and perform just like that top performer? Would that not be great? Kind of make the Amazon effect. Well, on today's episode, yes, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to make that buying experience absolutely amazing, especially if you're selling complex solutions. You're going to love it. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode today, we have a fantastic guest. His name is Chris Schutz. He is the CEO and founder of Logic.io. You need to check them out. I got their screen pulled up here, and they're doing some really cool things. Essentially, what they're trying to do is take complex sales solution, complex offering, and make it so easy, like that Amazon type effect, and give your weakest seller the same opportunity to perform just as well as your top performing seller. As a business owner, as a sales leader, would that not be great to take that complex solution and making it simple? Well, you're going to hear about how Logic is doing that today. You're going to learn how you can take this and apply it to your organization. And especially if you're that sales rep, you're going to hear some insights. Hopefully it can help you to improve your game. What else could I do to ensure that that new rep is prepared as much as they can to start performing like one of the best before we even start making the standardizing the sales process, if that makes sense?
Yeah, well, I think it's just, that's an interesting question. I think our technology really helps to guide the user and sort of bring them along. And it's also very easy to administer, make changes to edits, update. And so what we tell our customers is that we don't want you to do like a lengthy, we're not talking about a 6-month, 12-month project here. We're talking about take your product data, build something in a couple of weeks, start to use it, get experience with it, gather a lot of feedback from the sales team, particularly perhaps even your more junior reps, and build on that to improve it and iterate over time, because we designed the technology to really be administered and maintained from that Salesforce admin persona. So the people that are already in your Salesforce system, CRM system, updating and maintaining your opportunities, accounts, profiles, reports. We want that same persona to be maintaining Logic in there. And we run, for the configure price quote use case, we primarily run inside a Salesforce CPQ. And so we've designed the app to use all the Salesforce data objects, and it admins and runs and sort of looks just like it's a Salesforce, core Salesforce functionality as part of that process.
What are some of the indicators that you guys have seen from your clients that pushes a company to say, I need to do business with you, besides the fact that one seller isn't doing great and you have somebody else doing well? Are there any other indicators that make sense for somebody to look at a tool like you guys have?
Yeah, that's a great question, Don. Thanks for asking that one. So there's a couple things. There's a couple ways to look at it. So one is, if you think about it, all companies want to grow the top line. They want more revenue. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these companies that are doing complex B2B transactions, they want to actually make the transaction more efficient. And so a natural way to do that is go self-service if you can, or allow your customers to see and configure the products to meet their needs, and then maybe send it to someone to complete the transaction. That's a new, that's omni-channel. That's creating a new channel to sell your products. And I think the problem is a lot of the existing configuration engines in the market, from the traditional large software companies like an SAP or Oracle, they don't support that experience very well. So that's sort of one indicator that I would say you might want to look at Logic.io. And then the other set of indicators are more like a bottom line, like a cost reduction or a cost efficiency type of a situation. So one of those might be if you're having to maintain multiple rules engines and you want to consolidate that into one. If you're spending a lot of time on product data maintenance, that'd be another thing. The high-tech company that I just mentioned, they're live and they're still getting the admin experience, but it looks like we've probably reduced their admin workload by easily 50%. So it's a much easier kind of tool to maintain. And then the third piece, Don, is really this concept of speed to market and new product introduction. So and this goes hand in hand with the ease of admin, but so one of the things we can provide them is, you can release a product, finish your product design, your manufacturing, prepare to do a product launch, and then it's merely, a week or a couple of week process to put that in Logic.io, versus a lot of these companies, the last piece of a product introduction might be a 3-4 month implementation to actually put it inside their sales systems so they can start selling it and make it accessible to their channel. And, we dramatically shorten that new product introduction process to get it into their selling systems.
What advice would you give to a team lead or a company that they've been hesitant about tackling this problem? And they know it's there. It's been well aware that there's a wide disparity between the way my junior sellers perform versus my top sellers are performing. What advice would you give them to get over that hump, to investigate and start looking at a solution?
Yeah, I think a lot of these companies, one of the barriers that they have is they're a little bit shell-shocked in a sense, because they've, traditionally configuration projects have been very long, very high risk, very expensive projects. And we have solved that problem. And that, that problem was certainly true, I think, for, when Godard and I started Big Machines in 2000, we did have a lot of customers where it took 10 months, it took a year to implement the software, and these were, lengthy, risky, expensive, implementations. We got better at it with time, but still, it was a challenge. And now, because this Logic.io is a generation 2 kind of product, we learned a lot the first time. We corrected a lot of things that we didn't quite make perfect, and now this product does actually implement very fast. It's very portable. It's very low maintenance, and I think what we're doing, with a lot of our customers is we're saying, here's the software, try it out. We'll give you a couple hours of training. You can take your products, put it in there, try it out, sort of self-implement it, get your own experience, and we're finding that that's a really good avenue to turn somebody into a full, customer with like a multi-year, relationship that we have with them. And I think that's probably the key thing, is that this may seem like a very difficult problem to solve. And, our message is this next generation commerce logic technology actually has reduced that barrier to solving the problem, the difficulty of solving the problem, significantly.
If folks want to get in touch with you and to connect with you a little bit further and to learn more about Commerce Logics and all just in general, like how they can best connect with you guys, what's the best way for them to do so?
Best way is probably on our website. So it's logik.io, so logic.io. Or they can email me, just chris@logik.io.
Oh, yes. That was Mr. Chris Schutz. If you want to go ahead and connect with Chris and learn about Logix, find all the information in the show notes. You can also connect with him on LinkedIn. Tell him that you heard him on the Sales Evangelist. Listen, I bring on folks like Chris. I bring on folks to this podcast that I feel could really help you elevate your sales game. I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to find more of those ideal customers. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to close more deals. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking and go out and do big things. Thank you so much for watching.